everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Disney Duo, or whatever the heck I named this series. And welcome, Katie, once again.
Thank you.
Yes, sister community manager is back for round 2 because you guys liked it so much. Well, we're gonna hit up the other parks. Which one are we going with today?
We're gonna go with EPCOT and start there. It's probably my favorite, actually.
What?
So I know.
Blasphemy already, but that's fine.
I know, but
Why is it your favorite?
I just think there's a lot more to do there than
Sure. As an adult,
as an adult. Yes.
I think as a kid, I hated the park.
I did
hated
too.
World Showcase.
Yeah, World
With a
Showcase
passion.
was the worst.
Until we met our lifelong friend, Sven, of the German
Yes.
Pavilion. Sven, shout out to you, buddy. We love you. I know you're watching. I always say I know you're watching when I'm positive they aren't.
That's okay.
I do that a lot with Dwayne Johnson. Anyway, okay. We're going to do, instead of top 5, we're going to do top 3 rides.
Yes.
And to be a ride, you have to, like, get in a moving vehicle. That is kind of what we're going with here. We gave Carousel Progress a pass, because technically it moves.
Yes.
But this time we're just doing 3 because there's not as many. So do you want to start us off? What's your bronze?
So my bronze is Test Track. It's definitely changed over the years.
Yes, it has changed a lot.
I don't know that I like the new transition they're making into all of the computer stuff. I think it's kind of cool. You can do more with vehicle that you make when you go in,
Yeah, you
right?
like build your own kind of in a way.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't gone there for quite many years, so I don't know what it actually looks like now, but I've seen videos.
Well, it's the same as when we went 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think.
But
Yeah.
did they have the vehicle where you could kind of
I think you could build it back then
customize
too.
and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
Because for people who haven't seen like the newer Test Track, the old Test Track was like you're a crash test dummy, and you'd go through and like see how cars are made, and they had this whole like kind of like building aspect to it. But now it's just like you go in, and it's like all futuristic-y. They have like these screens, like all right, make a car, and we'll pretend the car you get in is the car you made, and see how your car performs. It's fine. But yeah, Test Track. Okay, well, why do you love it?
I just like going outside. I think
I love it going outside.
I think it's kind of cool how you like transition from this test track on the inside to going on that. Well, they don't say off-roading, but
yeah, well, there's that.
kind of,
yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, they also have that kind of segment where it's like kind of off-roading, but yeah.
I like and how it kind of turns and it goes fast at the end. And
it's like I think technically it's one of, if not the fastest ride in Disney World.
Yeah.
Up to almost 65 miles per hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
very close at the very end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Test Track. Anything else you want to say about Test Track?
No.
All right. She's like, that's my bronze. Okay.
I mean, it was just like what else can you say about it really?
Cool.
How about you?
All right. So people, I'm gonna shock you.
I don't even know what it is.
I didn't write mine down because I wanted to throw Katie off. So this is a ride that I used to think was stupid. Why would you go on this ride? And I've grown to love it. It's one of the rides I watch. Probably I've watched the most, weirdly, of it as like a POV.
What?
Do you know what it is?
No?
Living with the Land.
What?
Yeah!
Mind blown!
Yeah!
Oh my god!
Okay, Living with the Land is a boat ride where you like go through in the beginning, you're like in the rainforest, and then you go and there's like the American desert, and then they show like the prairies and stuff, and then you go in and actually see all these plants and all these pieces of vegetation being grown in real life in like these big atriums, and you see like these crocodiles, these baby crocodiles, and a bunch of fish, and they talk about how that's part of like the food that they make there, especially at the Garden Grill, which is a restaurant that overlooks this ride, and I think that's really cool. And I've grown to like it over the years because now I'm like, oh, this is really fascinating. And I've got a science background, so I see like their little biotech lab, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty accurate. Like, I'm like, that's pretty much it.
That is so funny that you chose that. I did not.
I'm excited to go back.
Totally didn't anticipate you to say that.
Yeah, I just love that intro, man. I love a boat ride. I'm a sucker for a boat ride.
Yeah, me too.
Sucker for a boat ride. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I love it. So there you go. You're welcome.
I don't even know what to say right now.
I did it.
I'm not even ready to say my number 2.
Okay.
I'm like still mulling that over.
Okay. All right. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can move on then.
Okay. Number 2, Silver.
Figment.
Journey into Imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
That's
good one.
kind of transitioned over the years, I think. Well, the end part where you're walking out after the actual physical ride.
Sure.
That's kind of evolved over the years.
Yeah, now it's more.
What they do.
I think it's more of a play place now.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. No, it's like, remember the way you put your hands in there and it makes the noises?
Oh, that Yeah,
Yeah.
that portion I thought you
Yeah.
meant there was something new.
No.
Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
have no idea.
But do they still have like the pictures? You can take pictures with the different backgrounds there because that was like a big thing.
Maybe.
No,
I don't know. Maybe there is like a little photo booth.
kind of, but like you're interacting, so you could like take pictures with like the princesses, and then you could be
Oh,
in there with
my
them.
God, that
So
sounds
they're like
great.
surrounding the
Okay.
picture frame.
I could use that.
It was cool.
Okay, but
But
the
anyways,
ride.
the actual ride, not the after.
She's like, I really love how you walk off this ride into a gift shop. It's my favorite.
Yeah, so I just really like that ride. It's cute,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I like Figment. He's kind of a little.
I like him. I like that he's like the mascot of the park. He's also become the mascot of Food and Wine, which is really cool.
Really?
With Figment, you can see things differently. I remember Figment. He's got in my head. I love Figment. He's messed up too. Sometimes he wears a little yellow sweatshirt. He's
Yeah.
out and about.
But
and
he has
they,
like his little belly showing.
and they skirt the whole touch and taste labs because they're like, we're not gonna have you do that. Because at the end of the ride,
Yeah,
they're like,
well-
nope, we can't do that. Like, because you go through and basically you're testing all of your senses, and Figment's kind of
Right.
screwing up the ride, making it fun,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah, and I think like one of my favorite parts is when you go into his area where everything's
Yes.
like upside down and backwards and all of these different things are happening. And I remember like being a kid and going under the swirling toilet and I'm like, please,
Yep.
don't get me wet. But there wasn't any water that actually.
It doesn't.
So,
No. Now they have it though. I'm just kidding. That'd be horrible. That'd be really bad.
And are you ready?
Yes.
There's a hidden Mickey on that ride too, and you don't even. Do you know where it is?
No.
You
Wait.
don't
Yes.
even
Oh
know
yeah, I
where it
do.
is.
Yeah.
Do
It's
you?
in that upside down scene.
It is
I
in the
believe.
upside down scene, but you have to figure out where it is on your own. But it's
Yep.
fun.
Another shout out to Sven. At the end of the ride, there is a blast of air in your face, and a bunch of stuff happens, and I'll never forget him yelling on it or screaming. He's like, ah! It's super good. Go on the ride. Get ready to be shocked, because the beginning of that ride is very different than the ending.
Yeah, the ending is it's interesting, and I think I like that component to it
Yeah.
as well. But yeah,
I also love the queue. I love that you go through and you see other scientists from like Disney films that like have their labs there.
yeah,
And you kind of get like, oh, there's like, the Flubber lab, and then there's like Wayne Zelinsky, and there's like all this stuff, and it was tied into Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, and like that whole
Yeah.
area was very much like a connected theme, which I thought was really cool.
yeah.
And Dr. Nigel Channing.
I was gonna say we need to do a shout out to Dr. Nigel Channing because he makes that ride.
We
like,
love you,
even
Nigel.
So much better.
Yeah, good
But
ride.
yeah, that's fine. How
Right.
about you?
Next one is, it's kind of weird because it's transitioned a bit since I was there. So originally, and I'm gonna go and I will probably just pick this one anyway, but it will be after I've gone there again, Frozen, Ever After, but originally the Maelstrom. I just love that ride.
Yeah.
It's the boat ride over in the Norwegian Pavilion. I have a very intense relationship with that ride. Kind of like if you watch the first episode, you know me, and I was very a sensitive child.
No.
Have I have I regretted some of the things that have happened upon the Maelstrom? Yes. I'll never forget being woken up when we were pretty young by our parents. We had a bunk bed, and they came in one morning. They're like, "We're going to Disney World," and I was like, "Not the Blood Eye!" Because at the end of that ride, before you go down like the final drop, there's like this creepy troll, and it like has this bloody eye, and that drop used to freak me out. I used to attack people I was with. I've drawn blood.
Yes, drop blood.
Not a proud thing, but a true thing.
Yeah.
But besides that, I love the ride. It was the weirdest thing because like it talks about Norwegian history and the Vikings, and I didn't realize Odin was apparently the face. He's like, you are not the first who passed this way. And I was like, what? And it's all this mythical stuff, and then at the very end after the drop, it's like, welcome to the oil industry.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
You're like, oh, the oil industry is very scary,
Yeah.
thick and stormy. But I loved it, and then you ended in the Norwegian village, and I really enjoy again, I'm a sucker for a boat ride, like I said.
Yeah.
And I love the boats. I think they're really cool. I love the ride itself being like, it has a regular drop in it, which is like slip and falls for Splash Mountain aficionados. It's like the first drop. And then they have a backwards drop in there, which is pretty unique for a boat ride.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And from what I've seen of Frozen, I think, I'll probably still love it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't been on it since
I haven't been on
transition?
no. So that's why I kind of put it there, but I'm sure it will still be there because I thought like Unfortunately for me, Epcot doesn't have like a lot of rides that I really love, and I'm hoping that after a few of the refurbs and a few of the new additions, that I'll be like, oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster is sick. But right now, not so much.
I mean, we watched the POV of the Frozen.
Yeah, I've seen it a few
changes,
times.
So it looks beautiful
Yeah.
and awesome,
Yeah.
and also kind of creepy with like the faces now are being
Yeah.
projected. I haven't been down there since they've done the projection on the faces, so I'm like,
I'm
I
interested
don't
to
know
see it
if
in person to see if it has the same problem.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. And I like Frozen. I don't love it, but I also love that they kind of redid the queue line to be like you get to go through the shop of the sauna. I can't remember his name, but there's everybody there, and it's just like, oh, like Olaf and Sven and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think that'll be really cool. You have to let us know what you think.
yeah, I'll be on there. I'll be like, I did want to build a snowman until you sent me backwards down the falls, Elsa. Is she trying to hurt you? Like she's like, anyway. Yeah, that's my number 2. All right, number 1.
Mine is one that he already mentioned. That's why I was so mind blown. Mine is Living with the Land. And just like Carousel of Progress, maybe I'm more of an old soul. I'm not sure. But I just, again, the boat ride, the whole structure of
I like watching progress and the vegetables grow. Like, you know, I'm right there with you. I think Land's a great ride.
It is. I love it. I don't know. I love the thought of it and them talking kind of about like the world and how we can maintain it better. And it's just cool.
It feels like Jurassic Park, but if you flipped out all the dinosaurs with like bananas. There's like some just disembodied voice who's like, "Welcome to the land," and you're like, oh. Yeah, I love it. It's good. It's a good ride.
We were talking briefly a couple days ago when we were planning to film this about how it kind of resembles the boat that's in the Willy Wonka, the original Willy Wonka.
And I'm trying to think about how I can sing that song without scaring people on the ride. Levi, you said you saw Willy Wonka. This is just like the Willy Wonka ride. We have no way of knowing where we are going. Don't know which way it's going. It's like a centipede.
It's super creepy.
Yeah, it's like the Willy Wonka boat.
But the Living Land is not. Living with the Land is not creepy.
Yeah. Also, I love the beginning. Like, it's dark and you can't really tell what's going on there. And they could never change it. Like, they could update some of the things, but there's no, like, let's just refurb it. Like, they can't.
Not unless they completely...
like, dismantle the whole thing, which would be a Herculean feat.
Yep. So, how about you? What's your number 1?
Well, believe it or not, Katie and I, because we're twins, sometimes it's the opposite. She said this one was her 3rd, but it's my first Test Track. I freaking love Test Track. Now it's become even more of a Chevrolet commercial, which kind of sucks, because at the end you, like, walk out and they're like, hey, you want to buy, like, a Camaro? And you're like, no.
I'll go sit in it for free.
Yeah, exactly. I'll sit in it for free. But just the ride itself, I do miss the old school version. I know some people didn't like the music in the beginning, which was just basically like percussion. Like it was just like a bunch of like noises and stuff. I like that as a percussionist. And seeing like they had this like big kind of pendulum that would come and like once in a while it would strike one of the dummies. And it was cool to see that. And you're like, oh, that's cool. But it was pretty dated. And I loved the intro video. I'm also a sucker for a really good intro video, and there's this controller and this other guy who comes in who's kind of like the supervisor, and they're kind of going through and they're like, oh, we're gonna run you through the tests that you would normally get for a car, and you get to do all those tests. And my favorite is when he's like, yeah, pick a few of these things, and she's going picking through things and she hits one and he's not paying attention and she picks like the literal crash test. So you're like, oh, cool, I get to look forward to that. But the ride, the brake test is always my favorite because you're going really fast, up to like maybe 30 miles per hour or so.
Yeah.
Then you lose control, and then you do it again with your anti-lock brake system functioning.
Yeah.
And then you make a good turn. And there's the heat, the cold, which is hilarious for the people from Minnesota because they're like, it's so cold, look at all the icicles. And you're like, this is hilarious. Like, you're like, this is like a breeze.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. But then I love transitioning out of that, going into kind of those hairpin turns a bunch, and then finally getting to go outside, even at night, which is really, really cool. I love it. I love Test Track.
Yeah.
Test Track. I love you. I'm gonna make the stupidest car possible. I'm gonna be like, beep, boop, beep, beep. Be like, your car sucks. And I'll be like, yeah. But it's mine. But yeah, those are our top 3 favorite rides from Epcot. What are yours? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't seen any of these rides, please go check out some point of views. They're really cool. Like, I would suggest just like typing in any of them and just kind of looking up if you want better clarification. After the trip, which probably this might air after it, so hopefully there'll be footage with that, and if not, there'll just be images, and then you guys can see that for yourself. And if you guys ever want like full ride through just POVs, let us know, because that could happen potentially. Either way, thank you, Katie, for being on again.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do more of these. Can you ever guess which one will be next? Maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
Watch to find out.
Watch to find out. Also, I'm wearing like a Disneyland shirt right now, so it's good. You never know when we're gonna hit Disneyland. Oh, there's so many attractions there, so many rides. Oh my goodness. Anyway, if you want to support the show, consider going to check out our Spreadshirt, which Katie is also wearing. Little critical reviews. You can get one. You can get this sweatshirt over on Spreadshirt if you want to support us, or check us out on Patreon.com/criticalreviews. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, just remember to adapt and overcome.